All right, joining me now, Senator Marsha Blackburn, member of the Judiciary Committee, very important regarding Roe v. Wade. Senator, welcome back. And look, we talked to Bill Barr. Everyone's talking about the leak. The leak is horrible. It should be prosecuted. I get that. It should be prosecuted to its full. But I just want to ask you, ma'am, I mean, somebody has to speak up for the children. Someone has to speak up for the unborn. I mean, the guts, I don't know if the court is going to go with what Alito's draft is, but it seems to me this is about saving America and saving America's children. And I just wanted to put that to you, get your view.
Yes, and, you know, it is important to talk about the leak and how this damages the integrity of the court, because it's a betrayal of the trust that the court has placed in a clerk. And Larry, whether they are left, right, center, what they did is wrong, and they need to be punished to the full extent that is allowable, because this does damage the integrity of the court, and it affects how the American people see it. Now, when it comes to the draft opinion that Justice Alito had written, someone who's trying to influence the outcome is who leaked this. What we know is that in this opinion, there is not a banning of abortion, which is what some on the left would have you believe. What this does is to say that going back to the people, the states, for regulations and restrictions on abortion is the place to go. And moving this moving it to the states for the people in the separate and various states to set their rules and regulations is something that I think is important. And that is a way that we can protect the children. I think it is 64 million children that have died because of abortion since the passage of Roe v. Wade.
You're right, Senator, by the way. And, you know, it's just such a heartbreaking number. And you're also right about putting this back to the states. That's the basis of Alito's decision. There was nothing in the Constitution about abortions and so forth. And actually, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has observed this many years ago when she was talking about this, and Scalia talked about it the same way. So it's not as, you know, I just think it's right on target, but I was just kind of personally focusing on, you know, save the children. Let me ask you a couple other things. I understand you got to go and vote, and I want you to vote because I know you're going to vote the right way. But can you defund this George Orwell misinformation board of governance or whatever it is, the truth? Or can you defund that? We had Rand Paul on last night. He wants to work on it, et cetera, et cetera.
There are ways through the appropriations process that we can restrict the use of funds at DHS. And I have written Secretary Mayorkas calling for information on what pot of money they are using to fund this, calling on him to shut this down. This is, and I have to tell you, you know, the DGB, it sounds a lot like the KGB, doesn't it? Because they're trying to restrict American speech and what they're able to say. And if they think that that we are going to pass regulation that will protect people's privacy and ensure their free speech online and stop some of this overreach by social media, if they think Elon Musk is going to return Twitter to being the public square, they're saying, oh, no, you don't. We're going to step in here and we're going to put the Disinformation Governance Board ahead of the social media outlets in that pipeline. And if we say something is false, it's false. If we say it's true, it's true. If we say it's misinformation, going by their standard, you would never have heard about COVID coming from a lab in Wuhan. You would never have heard about the Chinese Communist Party cover-ups. You would never have heard about Hunter Biden's laptop. You would never have heard about Biden Incorporated. It'd be interesting to see what they would have done with Hillary Clinton and Christopher Steele and the Russia hoax.
Yeah. Well, I hope you can defund it. I really do.
We're on it.
We're on it. Okay. Last one, ma'am. There's, I guess, lots of votes, a vote-a-rama about this so-called Chinese compete bill. which in my opinion is a lot of industrial policy and spending.
Precisely.
I mean, it's $350 billion bill coming out of the House. It was $250 billion coming out of the Senate. Senator Blackburn, don't Republicans have a responsibility to say no to spending because we're blaming Biden for his inflationary?
$335 billion is what this is. And there is a way to incent repatriation and to bring back our chips and microprocessors and telecommunications equipment, pharmaceuticals, active pharmaceutical ingredients, and it doesn't cost $335 billion.
Well, has the vote?
And that's what I've got to scoot to the floor and vote on. We're doing our motions to instruct right now.
All right. I'm hoping, ma'am, I don't want you just veto the hell out of all that stuff because it's
we're trying, Larry.
It's lousy bill. It's corporate welfare.
Yes.
It's industrial policy. It's like we want to be more China than China. They have a state-controlled economy. We shouldn't have one.
You got it.
All right. Senator Blackburn, please, ma'am, go and vote. I appreciate your coming on. See you soon.